Hello, my name's Vera and I'm 27 years old. I just had the most amazing thing happen a few months ago and I didn't have much time to talk about it. I finally got some downtime and I decided that I wanted to share my story with whoever wanted to listen. Let me start by telling you about my family. I come from a pretty well-off family. I never really lacked anything because my parents had two very stable, high-paying jobs. My mom worked as a surgeon and my dad was the owner of his own bank, a pretty big one in our state. Anyway, my parents made it a point to hide their wealth. They learned the hard way what it was like to have people treat you when they found out how wealthy they were. I remember while growing up, my parents lost a lot of friends when they decided to stop supporting a few of them financially. They were also sick of how the rich treated those who were less fortunate than them. They too were very unfortunate at some point, and to see their friends talk so lowly of those who were even a slightly bit more unfortunate than them, that's exactly why they raised me to be humble. Aside from the quality of education I got, there was no other real way for anyone to say that I came from a good and wealthy background. In fact, it was at college that I met my husband, Mark. Mark and I met because we were in the same classes in our freshman year. We ended up becoming friends, and it was only in our senior year that we started dating. After we graduated, we decided to move in together, and we focused really hard on our careers. It was around this time that I decided it was time for Mark to meet my parents and learn about our wealth. My parents pretty much fell in love with Mark and even called me up after we left their place to tell me that I found the right man for me. As for our wealth, Mark was pretty indifferent about it. He too came from wealth, so just not as much as me. After meeting my family, it was time to meet Mark's family. Mark's parents and I got along fairly well, but I got along well with Mark's brother, Abe. Abe and I shared the same personality, and we had a lot of interest in a lot of the same things. While Mark was really happy to see me and his brother get along so well, someone else was not. Abe's wife, Hazel, hated me the second she met me. I figured it was just because she was jealous of Abe and me, so I distanced myself from Abe to try and keep the peace between us. After another year, Mark's parents, Rita and Abe, decided to start hosting dinners at their place every month. My parents decided to follow along, and they too did the same. Both of them invited each other as well, so that meant twice a month both Mark and I's family met each other. This only led to us growing an even closer bond. Both Mark and I's parents became really good friends, and Abe and my parents got closer too. I was genuinely really happy that everything was going so well, except that Hazel still hated me, and that hatred seemed to extend to my family as well. She would also be curt with us, and at some points she would even say passive-aggressive things against us. My parents preferred to ignore her comments, while Mark and Abe did stand up to Hazel whenever they heard what she said. That didn't change anything, though, because Hazel started talking to others about my family and me when Mark and Abe weren't around. I decided one day that I wanted to confront Hazel about her issue with my family and me. I feel like we need to talk. About what? Well, about how you seem to dislike me and my family, obviously. Why is that? Have we done something to you? Do you see how you guys look? Do you see how you dress? We literally dress the same way. We look pretty all right. What have we done? Do you even know what brand I'm wearing right now? I'm wearing Gucci. What are you wearing? Walmart? Well, congratulations on you wearing fancy clothes, but I highly doubt that's reason enough to hate us. Look, I simply don't want to be associated with poor people, okay? Oh, is that why you hate us? Oh, now the mother's involved. You know, if you don't want to attend our family dinners, you don't have to. Of course I don't want to. But Abe is really big on family. He refuses to attend one of these. But that doesn't mean you have to come. Of course that means I have to come. I don't know what you guys will poison his mind with. What does that even mean? You don't even know how long it took me to convince him that we have more than enough money to live comfortably. He's only recently gotten comfortable with spending his money on me. That's very sad. Don't you earn as much as him? Yeah, but I only married him for his money. I don't want to keep working my entire life. And now that I practically entered high society, I don't want to be associated with the likes of you guys. Well, feel free to leave right now if you like. I can promise you we won't badmouth you. I don't trust you. People like you will do anything for some attention or money. Who knows? Maybe you're after my husband's money, which is why you're trying to get me out of the way. You're insane. Why would we ever do something like that? You know what? I think that's enough for today. Why don't we just leave it at this? I couldn't believe what I had just heard. How could Hazel even have an issue with us over something so superficial? I mean, I get it to a certain extent. She married a pretty rich man and she earned a good amount of money as well. She was used to a particular lifestyle. That was something I understood. But what I did not understand was her need to put specifically me and my family down. We never did anything but be nice and accommodating to her. She knew nothing about us, yet she did not hesitate to pass judgment on my parents and I. Mark was furious about it when I told him about my conversation with Hazel. However, I didn't want him to go and confront her for me. If my talking to her did not change her mind, I doubt Mark saying something would change it. Besides, I wanted her to apologize to me without anyone from our families interfering. She needed to show me that she was capable of growth. Otherwise, I saw no need in interacting with her. I didn't see any reason to respond to either Abe or Hazel if they texted me. Abe took that seriously. Hazel didn't care. Abe decided to come over a week after that dinner party. I was genuinely shocked to see Abe standing there. Hello? Abe, hi. What are you doing here? I'm sorry, but do you mind if I come in? I need to talk to you about something. Yes, of course. Mark isn't home yet. You have to wait if you want to talk about something regarding him. No, I need to talk to you. About what? I heard about what Hazel said to you. I'm so sorry that she said all that. Why are you apologizing for her? I don't want there to be any bad blood between us, that's it. That's not going to happen between you and me, Abe. Hazel is a grown woman capable of making her own decisions. What she does or believes does not reflect on you in any way. I know, but still. I just wanted to clear the air. I don't want you to think in any way that I'm prompting this behavior out of Hazel. I tried to talk to her about it. Oh no, what happened? Well, she threatened to divorce me for being too spineless and blind to the effect you have on our current social status. Oof, that's rough. What are you going to do about it? I don't know. I'm just hoping this is a phase that she's going through. She just got a taste of wealth, and maybe this is her way of acting out or something. Well, it's your relationship, and I have no right to say anything about the decisions you make about it. Just know that she was very transparent about why she married you to my mother and me that day. What do you mean? She told us that she only married you for the money. I know that was something that you were scared of, which is why I'm telling you about now in the first place. Oh, that's messed up. I don't know what to do about it, though. She was not this way before. I think you guys should talk it out more and figure things out. I can see that you still love her and you want her to be a part of your life. She's really my everything. Every day I come back home, I'm glad that I get to come back to her. You deserve to be loved the way you love her. But she also needs to love, or at least respect, the people that you love. I agree with that. I'm so glad that both you and your parents were super understanding and patient with me and Hazel. You met my parents too? Yeah, just before I swung by yours. I'm glad you did. You're a good man, Abe. We'll be by your side no matter what. I was genuinely shocked that Abe showed up and actually apologized. I was grateful that Abe valued our relationship enough to apologize on his wife's behalf. I thought he had known, but was siding with whatever she said. I'm so glad that it wasn't the case. As for Hazel and my relationship, things only took a more downward turn. The tension between both of us only became more apparent with every family dinner we had. Of course, I tried my best to be cordial and in general just avoid talking to or about her. Hazel was not that way. She was insistent on being even more gossipy about me. Abe tried his best to constantly patch things up between us, but eventually he gave up. But only after I reassured him almost 100 times that the way his wife viewed me was not a reflection of his views of me, and that I was still going to be his friend no matter what. This went on for a good year and a half until one day Abe told Mark and me that he had been working on a top secret project. We were obviously excited for him when he told us that he had been working on redoing a luxurious resort. The resort had existed before, but the business wasn't doing so well. So Mark offered to buy it, and he converted it into a luxurious place to stay at. Mark told us about his new resort a month before the opening. When it came time to open the resort, Mark sent out a group invite to our family chat group. So obviously everyone in that group was invited, including my parents and I. So all of us dressed to our nines and arrived at the resort. It was genuinely really beautiful. I had never seen a place so beautiful. I was even telling Mark that we needed to go stay there. Mark, my parents, and I all arrived at the same time. We went to find Abe so we could congratulate him. But we were interrupted by Hazel, who walked over to us with so much anger in her eyes that I genuinely got scared. "What are you doing here? We thought we could attend the opening of Abe's resort." "Absolutely not." "But why shouldn't we be allowed in any way?" "Ugh, I don't want you guys here." "Why is that? You sent out a mass invite to the group. How could you not let us in, but everyone else is free to enter?" "This place does not allow poor, dirty people to enter." "Excuse me? Who do you think you're calling dirty?" "You, of course. I mean, look at the way you have all shown up." "I think we're dressed very appropriately." "Oh, please, Mark. You lot look like you shop at Target, while all the guests look like they shop at the fanciest places in the world." "Well, okay, then I still don't think that's reason enough for you to bar us from entering into the event." "Look, it's my husband's event, and as his wife, I get to decide who gets let in and who doesn't." "I don't think your husband would approve of you not letting us in." "You know what? I've kept my mouth shut for too long about you all. You all think you're so entitled to everything at all times. You don't even realize it. Today, I'm putting my foot down and changing things up." "What in the world do you mean by we're entitled?" "You didn't even think to ask me if you all were invited. Instead, you just showed up like you were entitled to the opening." "Well, you sent out a group invite. Plus, I asked my brother about it, and he told us that we were more than invited." "Since he's your brother, you can come in. As for Vera, Alan, and Rita, you guys are not allowed in." "That's not fair at all." "What's going on here?" "These people are trying to get in as if they were invited into it." "Hazel, what are you talking about? Of course they're invited. They're family." "Your brother may be your family, but Vera and her parents sure are not. I will not let them in." "Ignore her. All of you, please come in. I'm so sorry for all of this. Enjoy your time here." Honestly, I was fuming. I wanted to leave the opening at that point because I didn't want to be in some place where I was told so blatantly to my face that I was not invited. But then again, I did not want to sabotage my relationship with Abe. I was there to celebrate his achievements, not fret over my personal issues with Hazel. So I avoided Hazel to the best of my abilities for the rest of the night. Instead, I chose to socialize with whoever I could, and I actually ended up having a pretty good time. At some point in the night, I needed a refill of my drink, so Mark and I walked over to the bar, where Hazel and Abe happened to be having a conversation. We didn't want to intrude, but right as we got there, we overheard Hazel calling Abe a disgusting man. My mom also ended up joining the conversation halfway through. "You're a disgusting man who cannot stand up for himself." "What's going on here?" "Just stay out of it, Mark. Hazel's throwing a fit right now because she's still upset that I invited Vera and her family to the event." "You don't get it, do you? They're constantly ruining our reputation. They look so out of place everywhere. Even at our wedding, they look like a bunch of hobos." "You're just being mean because you hate Vera for no apparent reason. You need to be respectful of them. This is crossing way too many lines." "I'll be respectful to them when they show me a reason to be respectful. So far, all I see is them looking like they can barely afford to live, and it makes me want to shower until I have a new layer of skin. That's really rude, Hazel. They are not dirty, nor are they poor." "You don't even know that. You just value family so much that you refuse to even see your family as individual people. I've been trying to beat this thought process out of you, but you just won't budge. You're making me come to my wit's end." "Oh, and what will happen if you reach your wit's end?" "Of course I'll leave you. I don't want to be with a spineless fool of a man." "Okay, I think that's a bit much. My family and I will leave. Abe, we don't want to cause any issues between you and Hazel." "Yes. Besides, a lot of people listening in on this now. I can't imagine that being a good thing for the future of your business." "Nonsense. If everyone's listening, then I want them to hear this. The only reason I'm opening this resort today is because of Alan's bank and his graciousness." "Alan's bank? What are you talking about?" "A few months ago, I approached Alan with my dream to own and run a resort. He promised to help me out, and it was because he cared for me and my dream that he had his bank approve of a loan for me." "What?" "And since this resort is supposed to be a new beginning for me, I want to announce to everyone present today that I'm going to divorce my wife." "Excuse me?" "That's it now. Carry on, everyone, and have fun." I was shocked. The way the tables had turned was beautiful. I mean, it didn't matter to me how Abe managed to fund his project because I was actually just happy that he was able to make his dream come true. But for him to have done the one thing that Hazel thought she was over, that was hilarious. Abe left, a gobsmacked Hazel standing right where she was, and whisked us away to a better place away from her toxicity. She tried to keep confronting Abe, and even at one point broke down crying, begging him to stay with her, but Abe did not want to listen to anything she said. When she got too much to deal with, Abe had security escort her off the premises. I was proud of and happy for Abe. I knew that the step he was taking was not a small one. I knew he still loved her deep down, but I was proud that he was able to recognize that she was not good for him in any capacity. After that event, Mark and I did our best to help Abe out in any way that we could. We offered him a place to stay until Hazel could clear out of their house, which was thankfully in Abe's name. They also had a prenup signed before marriage, so all their assets would have split accordingly without much hassle. About a month after Abe announced that he was going to divorce Hazel, she called me. "Hello?" "You did this. You ruined my life, you and your filthy family." "Excuse me? What did we do?" "I was supposed to live a life of pure luxury, and you took it away from me." "I'm sorry, but I thought Abe made it clear that it was because of your bad behavior towards my family and me that he's leaving you." "Because you and your family lied to me. How could you?" "When did we even lie to you, Hazel?" "You could have very easily told me about your wealth and class the first time I said something. That would have saved my marriage." "I don't think that telling you about who we were was going to save your marriage, even if you treated us well. Abe would have seen you mistreat someone else, and that would have led to a divorce anyway." You don't know that. Yes, I do. If treating the people your husband considers family like they were trash didn't make you think twice about how you view people, nothing else will. Abe would have seen through you and left you anyway. You just wanted me out. That's why you lied. At least you could have had my back. For what? You've never once been nice to me. You've always told me about how inferior I am to you. Not to mention, I didn't even know what my dad did to help Abe out. I couldn't have warned you at all. Although I will say that your getting out of this family is a relief. Abe can do so much better. You horrible jerk. Honestly, I do hope that you learn something from this entire experience. Treat people nicely and they will treat you nicely back. Goodbye now. The audacity that Hazel had to call me and blame me for everything that she did was truly astounding. What would it take for her to realize why what she did was wrong? Of course, Hazel didn't stop at just calling me to cuss me out for her failed marriage. She texted me and posted a lot of posts on her various social media platforms telling everyone she and I knew about the big blunder I created in her life. I kept my mouth shut, but if anyone ever approached me in private, I would explain my side to them. I think word spread around pretty quickly amongst the people who came to me privately because pretty soon Hazel was getting called out by everyone she knew. She obviously did not take that very nicely. She once again began to spam me with hate messages, and although they were very entertaining to read, I will admit that they got a bit heavy for me to keep reading. So I decided to do what was best for me and block her. My husband, Mark, also stood in solidarity with Alan and me and blocked her. It's been a good few months since all of this went down, and things have started to slowly but surely change in the right direction. Alan and I have mended our relationship, and Mark is happy that everything worked out well between his family and me. I can't wait to see what happens after a little more time. Thank you so much for listening to my story.